Okay, welcome to today's lesson. In this video, we'll be looking at calculation questions under the topic centripetal force, right? So I have a question here, and the question is, an object of mass 4 kg moves in a circle at radius 8 meters at uniform speed of 32 meters per second. Calculate A, the angular velocity, and then B, the centripetal force. So the first thing we're going to do here is to fish out the parameters that we're given in this question. An object of mass 4 kg. So that tells us that the mass of this object is 4 kg, moves in a circle at radius 8 meters. So the radius of the circle is 8 meters at uniform speed of 32 meters per second. So that tells us that our velocity is what? 32 meters per second. Calculate the angular velocity. So we're asked to look for the angular velocity and also the centripetal force. Centripetal force, we're also asked to look for it. So let's go with A. Angular velocity, which is represented as W, is equal to V over R. This is the formula for angular velocity. So W is equal to, our velocity here is 32 meters per second divided by the radius is what? Is 8 divided by 8. So 32 divided by 8, that will be equal to 32 divided by 8. If I bring out my calculator now, 32 divided by 8, that will be equal to 4. So our angular velocity will be equal to 4 radian per second. 4 rads per second. So this is our answer to this A, right? So let's look at B. So B, we have to look for the centripetal force. And the formula for centripetal force, Fc, is equal to mv squared over r, right? Mv squared all over r. So my m is the mass, v is the velocity, r is the radius. So the mass of the object here is 4 kg, right? So that will be 4 times the velocity is what? 32. So that will be 32 squared, right? V squared, 32 squared over the radius, which is what? Which is 8 meters over 8. So this will be equal to 4 times 32 times 32. This will be 32 times 32, because 32 squared means 32 times 32, right? Divided by 8. So if you multiply all this, that will be equal to 4,096 divided by 8, right? So 4,096 divided by 8 will be equal to 500 and what? And 12. So therefore, our centripetal force will be equal to 512 Newton, right? So this is the answer to this question. Let's look at the next question that we have here. And the question here is, an object of mass 400 gram attached to the end of a string is wheeled round in a horizontal circle of radius 2 meters with a constant speed of 8 meters per second. Calculate the centripetal force of the object. So the first thing that we want to do here is to bring out all the parameters that we're given. An object of mass 400 gram. So that tells us that the mass of the object is 400 grams. And remember, the unit for mass is kg, right? So this will be equal to 400 divided by 1000. And that will be equal to 0.4 kg. We'll have to convert it to the SI unit, right? 400 grams is 400 divided by 1000, which is 0.4 kg. Is wheeled round. So an object of mass 400 gram attached to the end of a string is wheeled round in a horizontal circle of radius 2 meters. So the radius is what? 2 meters with a constant speed of 8 meters per second. So the velocity is what? 8 meters per second, right? Calculate the centripetal force of the object. So centripetal force is what we are asked to look for, right? So what is the formula for centripetal force? Centripetal force is equal to mv squared over r, right? So my centripetal force will be equal to, my m is what? The mass, which is 0.4 kg. I converted this 400 gram to kg, which gave us 0.4 kg. So that will be 0.4 times velocity is what? Is 8 meters per second. So that is 8. This is v squared. So that will be 8 squared over our radius is what? Is 2 meters over 2. Right? So this will be equal to, if I bring out my calculator, this will be equal to 0.4 times 8 times 8. 8 squared means 8 times 8, right? So 0.4 times 8 times 8, that will be equal to 25.6. So this is 25.6 divided by 2, right? So 25.6 divided by 2 will be equal to 12.8. So my centripetal force Fc is equal to what? 12.8 Newton. This is my answer to this question. Very simple and straightforward. So the last question that we have here is, an object of mass 25 kg moves at 5 meters per second round a circular path of radius 5 meters. Calculate the centripetal acceleration, B, the centripetal force. So the first thing that we want to do here is to bring out the parameters that we were given. So an object of mass 25 kg. So the mass of the object is what? 25 kg. Moves at 5 meters per second. So that tells us that velocity is what? 5 meters per second. Round the circular path of radius 5 meters. So the radius was given to be what? Arrow was given to be 5 meters. Calculate the centripetal acceleration. So what we're looking for is centripetal acceleration and B, the centripetal force, right? So what is the formula for centripetal acceleration? Centripetal acceleration, so let's calculate our A here. Centripetal acceleration is equal to V squared over R. This is the formula for centripetal acceleration, right? So my centripetal acceleration will be equal to, my V is what? My V is the velocity, which is 5 meters, right? So that's 5 squared, because I have V squared here, 5 squared over, my radius is what? My radius is 5 meters over 5. So this will be equal to, 5 squared means 5 times 5, right? And 5 times 5 is 25. So this will be 25 divided by what? By this 5. So 25 divided by 5 will give me 5. So therefore, my centripetal acceleration is equal to what? 5 meters per second what? Squared. So this is my answer to this question A. Then let's dash to question B, which says calculate the centripetal force. So the formula for centripetal force Fc is equal to mv squared over what? Over r, where my m is mass, v is velocity, r is radius, and Fc is centripetal force, right? So centripetal force now will be equal to, my m is what? Which is the mass, is 25 kg. So that's 25 times, my v is what? Is 5. So that's v squared, that's 5 squared, which is 5 times 5, over my arrow is what? My arrow is 5, which is the radius, 5. So this will be equal to 25 times 5 times 5, which is this 5 squared. 5 squared means 5 times 5, right? Divided by 5, right? So this 5 will cancel out this 5, right? So 25 times 5 will be what? 25 times 5. So 25 times 5, that will be equal to 125. So this will be 125 Newton, right? So therefore, centripetal force is equal to 125 Newton. This is the answer to this question. Very simple and straightforward. So the major thing that you should know here is to know the formulas. If you are calculating for centripetal acceleration, you should know that the formula is centripetal AC, which is centripetal acceleration, is equal to V squared over R, V squared over R. So this formula, very important. If you are calculating for centripetal force, this formula, you must always know it. FC or F is equal to mv squared over R, mv squared over R, V squared over R. Then also, if you're looking for centripetal force, and hence like we've looked at before, centripetal force is mv squared all over r. Then your angular velocity is w, which is the angular velocity, is equal to v all over r, v all over r. Centripetal force mv squared all over r. So these formulas are very important. Physics is very easy as long as you know your formulas very well. So angular velocity is equal to v over r, right? Centripetal acceleration is equal to v squared over r. Centripetal force is equal to mv squared over r. So these formulas are very important. This is your angular, velocity, right? This is your centripetal acceleration, and this is your centripetal force. So all these formulas are very important. Okay, with this we come to the end of today's lesson. Thank you very much for listening. God bless.